Now we will start with our Dhamma discussion. Right, so today our global Dhamma discussion is entitled Meditation and Mindfulness. Okay, so I'll be talking roughly the first half, more or less, and after that you can discuss, you can share some things that you like to share with us by way of learning, or if you have questions, you can ask the questions too. Okay, so I'll talk a bit about what is meant by meditation, and then I'll briefly kind of explain to you the 40 kinds of meditation, which is in the notes. I'll spend a bit of time on talking about calmness meditation, why calmness is important, and then insight, right? So samatha, vipassana, and then the last part I'll talk about mindfulness, sati, especially one very important practice which we must do, which we can do to reach the path in this life itself as practicing Buddhists. The title of today's discussion is Bhavana. Bhavana comes from the root word, bhu, meaning to be, to become. So Bhavana is an abstract noun meaning becoming, growing. We usually translate as cultivation. So meditation is self-cultivation. Now, there are many words for cultivation in Pali, in early Buddhism, half a dozen of them. For example, you can also call meditation samadhi. Okay? So as samadhi, you find it is the second training, right? The second of the 3 trainings. That also is translated as meditation. Then there are other terms like kammatthana. In Thailand, they like to use the word kammatthana. Kammatthana has the meaning of like action. Karma, you put into action, the basis of action. So meditation is something you do, as it were, right, and so on. But I've chosen the word Bhavana, cultivate, because it's broad and a sort of neutral term, if you like. Okay. Now let me quickly go through with you there are 40 different kinds of meditation here. This is on page 21 of your notes. All right. Now I'll just give you a quick run through, so to speak, so you have an idea of the range of meditations the Buddha taught. Now, remember, although we have a list of 40 meditations here, this is found in the Visuddhimagga, for example. The Buddha taught very much more meditations than this. You can say these are the standard forms of meditation, if you like. Remember, the Buddha taught for over 45 years. So he taught, he is an amazing teacher. If you go to him, he looks at you and you need a special meditation, he will teach you a special meditation. Let me tell you a beautiful story here about meditation, a meditation which is not listed here. And meditation of the 5 aggregates which are taught you also is not listed here. Of course, we can say that the meditation on the 5 aggregates is listed under Dhammanusati. You can say that there are subcategories. There is this young monk who is not very bright, so he couldn't remember anything. He couldn't even remember a single line of, let's say, Dhammapada, So his elder brother scolded him and said, you can never be a monk, you can even remember a single verse, so how are you going to recite, how are you going to teach people, how are you going to recite blessings for people, So the brother was very discouraging. And this young monk was very sad, so he wanted to leave the order. Of course, the Buddha was very compassionate. The Buddha went up to him and said, okay. He went up to the Buddha, I think. So the Buddha taught him a very special meditation. Okay? The Buddha says, take a piece of cloth, put it over your hand, okay? This clean white cloth over his hand, so he could hold it firmly in some way. roll it around his hand maybe. And the Buddha said, okay, all you do is just rub with the other hand, but be focused. Focus and keep on rubbing your hand over the white cloth on the other hand, and just reflect. The word the Buddha taught him is Rajo Haranang. Rajo Haranang. Okay? So as he rubbed his hand on the cloth, he says Rajo Haranang, Rajo Haranang. Okay? Now, Rajo Haranang is actually a practice by the Jains. So this is where the Buddha has his humor. So he would use some words which sometimes from other religion for his teaching. But of course, these are not copyrighted words. Rajo Haranang simply means, Rajo means dust, Raja, short Raja, not Raja, okay? Raja means dust or dirt. Aharanang, take away, okay? Take away dirt, take away dirt. That's a literal translation, not very elegant. It means something like cleaning, okay? So as he was doing this, he was saying cleaning or purifying, if you like. But the cloth kept becoming dirtier and dirtier. So in his mind, he's saying, getting clean. But the cloth became dirtier, more and more smudged. And as he looked at this, he says, wow, look at that, how impermanent all this is. He was clean, now it is smudged. Right? So notice this very simple reflection. He reflected in this way, he became an arahat. Just like that. Right? If only things were that simple today. Now we must remember, in the Buddha's time, to be born in the Buddha's time, to be born as a disciple of the Buddha, you must have done a lot of great good deeds. Of course, in modern terms, we use the word parami. Parami meaning some really special good karma you do, respecting the Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha, doing your practice. Right? So you are reborn in the Buddha's time, in near where the Buddha lived, and able to, listen to his teachings. And in this case, even though this young man was not very bright, he became an arahat through this simple practice the Buddha taught him. So there you are. You have this very special meditation which is unique to this person. I think his name was Chula Pantaka, if I'm not mistaken. So this meditation is not listed here, for example. So these are the main ones, if you like. All right, let's look at the first set. You have 1 to 10. Okay, meditation methods 1 to 10. The first 10 they are called Kasina Meditation. Okay, this meditation normally used by forest monks. These are not easy meditation. You need a special device, and you sit and just watch. Okay, and they come in sets. See, 1, 2, 3, 4. They are the elements: earth, water, fire, wind. Earth means you actually use earth. You can't find a place where the earth is smooth, and then you have a circle. You focus in that circle, earth. So you go on looking earth, like that earth element. Now the benefit of earth element is very interesting, because if you master earth element over many years, then you'll be ability to project earth. So this is a kind of projection meditation, if you like. So if there's water, and then you go into meditation, you project, you say earth, you're able to walk over water. So this is how the Buddha, early Buddhism explains, for example, the Buddha walking on water, and so on. All right. Then the second, you have water. Here, of course, the meditation is water, and here you can use this power, if you like, to, like change something into water. But here, remember, the meditation is not about that. The meditation is reflecting on the impermanence of it all. Then there's wind, meditation on wind, meditation on earth, fire, water. There is earth, water, fire, then wind, the 4 elements, okay? Then you have colors, number 5 to number 8, all right? Blue, yellow, red, white. Okay, these are the 4 main colors the Indians use, very common colors. And many of these colors actually come from plants, like flowers especially. So the meditator would use, like stand in the garden and then just watch those colors until they're able to, flood their mind with that color. What I understand is these colors you suit different kinds of personality. So it depends on your personality. I suppose on a practical term here, if you find that certain colors are soothing to you, helps you to meditate, maybe it helps to maybe color your room with that kind of hue, if you like. Or maybe have a bit of paper of that color spread in front of you, so it helps you to have that kind of, it makes you feel comfortable. Some people like blue, for example, you know. So I suppose the psychologists, when they hear this, are very excited. They say, wow, here we can use to help our clients with their stress and so on. In fact, in some places, they're already using colors. Then there is light meditation. Okay, now light meditation, aloka sanya. So this is called sanya, by the way. It's quite common and it's very easy to do. And I would, in a way, encourage you to do it. For example, if you're sleepy, right? So this is where you got to go to a place which is open and bright. And that means around, say, 9, 10 o'clock in the morning on a nice sunny day, okay? Of course, you don't look at the sun, okay? You look at this open space, for example, over the sea or some forest from a high point. You look at the open space, right? So we don't look at any trees or people, we look at the space. And then you see the light there, all right? So this is where you do with your eyes open. You feel, you perceive light, brightness. Then you are aware, you say bright, bright. Then you close your eyes, then you picture this brightness in your mind. You go on doing this back and forth, open eyes, close eyes, open eyes, close eyes, okay? Until you're able to picture this brightness, even when it is dark. So this takes a long time. It's not something simple, but it can be done, okay? In fact, you can make it a habit. Wherever you go, for example, even in your house or you go outside, you find some very bright advertisement. So just perceive it as light. Record in your mind bright, bright like that. So that helps you to have this idea of brightness in your mind to help you in your meditation. When you feel sleepy, you switch to light perception. Then there is space. They kind of go together. Number 10 is space. Here, location. All right. Okay, the diagram is there. You pass. Go down a bit. The diagram. Yeah. Yeah. Very good. A bit more. A bit more. Yes, a bit more. You can see at the top. Go to the top. A bit top. Yeah. So this same position, high vantage point, open space. Instead of taking light as your object, you take space. The same, you're aware of this spaciousness in front of you. Space, space. So you record in your mind, space, space. Okay. Especially if you like climbing mountains. On the top of this mountain, you have this beautiful, spacious view in front of you. When I was in the secondary school, I went to Gunung Ledang, one of you, 3-4 times, and really a beautiful view there. So you just sit there quietly and say space, space, and record in your mind this idea of space. And this gives you a sense of joy also. Okay? So it depends on how you need this, but basically it makes you feel happy. Alright, then the next, called the 10 foulness, 9 or 10. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. There are 9 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. In fact, up to 20. 11 to 20. These are what I call the stages of decomposition of the body. Okay. This is not recommended for you to do because it's not safe. We're talking about corpse here, and there are rules to follow. Okay, for example, the monk is told not to stand downwind because when the wind will blow, and you get all this. Of course, you don't say germs; they'll say the smell coming down. So you stand upwind, and then you have to be careful with the kind of corpse you choose to wash, things like that. So you can't do this yourself. You need to be really guided. of course, pictures of mango corpse also, it's not easy to see, but they work for those who have very strong lust. Okay? So this is the use for it. Okay. Then you find in the other meditation also the personality type is mentioned there. For example, colors are very good in those who have a lot of hate and anger. They kind of help them. Then this 9 stages of bodily decomposition is helpful to those who are lustful. And then you have loathsomeness of food. Okay, this one is when you eat food, you reflect. You say, okay, this food, I'm going to take it in, I'm going to chew it in, and when it goes to my stomach, it's become yucky and stuff like that. So you actually reflect what becomes of it. Then you're not so attached to it anymore. It is a great way of cutting down on food, actually, right? So, of course, most of us say, no, we're not going to think that because you want to enjoy your food. That's the whole idea. It's a kind of aversion therapy, if you like. Okay, so this is for those who are intellectual. Notice on the far right, you only reach excess concentration. You don't get full concentration here, just a little bit of concentration. Now, analysis of the 4 elements is, of course, earth, water, fire, and wind. And now you notice this seems to be a repeat. Actually, it's not. Number 1, 2, 3, 4 are also the 4 elements. Those are kasina. In other words, they are meditated as external objects: earth, water, fire, wind. Okay. Whereas in this case, we reflect the 4 elements within us. For example, earth is our body. We sit on a chair, you can feel the pressure, the body pressing on the chair. You can feel your hand resting on your body and so on. Earth, and then water is your liquid in your mouth. Fire is the body heat. And then air is the breath going in and out. Okay, so these 4 elements are within your body. Right? Now we come to a more familiar set of teachings, the 10 recollections, Anusati. Okay, Anusati. The first 3 is a set again: recollection on the Buddha, recollection on the Dhamma, recollection on the Sangha. Okay, so these are for those who are faith inclined. So if you like, you can picture the Buddha from stories. Imagine you're before the Buddha and then bowing. Okay, so this is a starting meditation, inspiring meditation. And from there you go on to something like breath meditation. Or you like the Dhamma, you can reflect on the Dhamma. For example, I find recollection of Dhamma very helpful, especially when I get up in the morning and I'm sleepy, don't feel like getting up. I just reflect, okay, I'm going to translate this sutta, and then this is the teaching. And then when I think about it and the suttas connect and the teaching connects, you can feel this wonderful surge of energy coming. All right, so that's one use for it. Basically, it is inspire us when we find the normal meditation is not working. We switch to this helping meditation. Then there is recollection of the Sangha. Here, of course, refer to the noble Sangha, the great saints, the Arahats. So we reflect on those, your favorite Arahat, your life history, and you feel very inspired. Okay. Then there is the recollection on moral virtue. Okay, so this is the 4th of the set of 5. The next one, number 27, is recollection on charity, right? So this forms a set of 5, 6 actually, one more, number 28, recollection on the devas, the gods. Okay, this is a set of 6 helpful meditation when you have difficulty meditating. Recollection on charity, before that, on moral virtue rather, you have a while ago recited the precepts. And this is a very good moment to remember this, okay? You have recited the precepts, the 5 precepts, right? And then you are spending these 2 hours listening, discussing. You are keeping the precepts all the while. So don't think, oh no, I'm not been keeping my precepts, I'm not a very good person. That's negative, it doesn't help. Remember this moment you spend 8 to 10 o'clock today, and previous sessions. Then you reflect, okay, I've done my bit, keeping to the precepts, and I feel so good doing this. Then you don't have guilt, you feel good, you feel peaceful, and you go on to your your main meditation. That's how you use it. That is on moral virtue. Then number 27, recollection on charity, on giving, right? So we have been supporting our center, we have been helpful to other temples, and you're doing social work for the poor, the needy, and the sick, especially during this time of COVID. So you reflect, you say, oh, I've been helping all these people who really need help. Then you feel a sense of joy when you recollect doing charity. Number 28, recollection of the gods is very interesting. All right. Now the Buddha is very wise here. He knows that there are many people who are caught up with the idea of God, capital G, small gods, right? So this is a kind of provisional meditation. I don't think many Buddhists do this. Although we can, say like you like Sakra or Brahma, you reflect on their quality. But I've not met anyone who does this actually. But here is where, let's say, I do have in my teaching career as a lay teacher, but non-Buddhists coming to me, God believers coming to me, and they ask me, for example, can I practice Buddhism? I'm not a Buddhist, and I believe in God. I say, yeah, of course you can, as long as you open your mind, And there was one very interesting case. This lady from Sarawak, one day she came to me privately and told me, say, I want to tell you something. I'm a Catholic and I worship Virgin Mary, but I keep dreaming of Kuan Yin. So I told her, I said, wow, you're very lucky, looks like Kuan Yin likes you then, huh? So I said, well, just keep your heart open, The day will come when you'll know what to do. Okay, so just not everybody has this wonderful opportunity to picture something really beautiful and good. I mean, the embodiment of compassion, see? So here we have people believe in God, and how do we teach them Buddhism? Especially for, Buddhism is growing in the Philippines, so this is a great way the Filipino Buddhists can teach other Filipinos. That, okay, you believe in God, you start off picturing a kind and compassionate God, okay? And when you feel the joy arising, then you switch to breath meditation. See, so that's how it is done. So you go from one thing to another, okay, from the known into the unknown. So that's recollection of the gods. Now, mindfulness of death, number 29, is again not easy to do, but it's actually quite a good meditation. It's one of my regular meditation too. It's a kind of very poignant meditation on impermanence, really. You are reflecting on yourself. You don't say, I'm impermanent, you say, I'm going to die. I won't last long, not maybe, 10 more years, 20 more years, all right? So you reflect in this way, and then you say, well, I'm impermanent in that sense. Then you feel this sense of urgency. I need to do good. I need to do something worthwhile. So it's not fear that arises in you, it's this motivation to do the right thing. And that should be the case here, right? And then there is mindfulness of the body. You just be aware of your body as it is, of its movements, of its impermanence. You've got to take care of it, and so on. Basically respecting the body as the vehicle of awakening, and so on. Right? So there's quite a lot of things that connected with the body. Here is a narrow meaning of recollecting on the body, whereas in the Satipatthana Sutta, body-based meditation is a whole set of meditation. That's a bigger meaning to it. Okay, so under the body you have breath, which is the next. Okay, there you are, number 31. Mindfulness of the breath. This is the most popular meditation because it's the one that the Buddha uses. The Buddha knows, even as a child of 7, so it's very safe, even for a 7-year-old child to watch the breath. And he used this and he became enlightened. And then number 32, recollection on peace. Actually, this is more kind of a perception of nirvana. Okay, notice this for the intellectual. Okay, that helps the intellectual. to have some kind of calmness, basically, not deep meditation, just calmness, access concentration. In other words, some kind of concentration, but not yet full. Here, an intellectual can imagine, say, oh, I imagine how peaceful nirvana is, so you picture this peacefulness of nirvana, all right? Not an easy meditation to do anyway. And the next set are very familiar, the four immeasurables, or Brahmavihara, divine abodes, 33 to 36, loving kindness, compassion, gladness, equanimity, metta, karuna, mudita, upekkha. Okay, they actually they are set. All these meditation are based on loving kindness, metta. Okay, boundless, unconditional love. Okay, so you start there, and then from there you build up to compassion. Loving kindness is to yourself, to everyone, under normal circumstances. Compassion is when there is somebody suffering. So it's like someone from up looking down to this person who needs help. And then gladness is where someone's happy, so you feel happy in response to that happiness. You're happy because the other person is happy. You picture this joy of a person and you feel happy. And then equanimity, especially in Buddhist work, you find we work so hard to help people, but still our work's never done. There are always people with wrong views and difficulties and so on. So we keep a calm mind by reflecting on the nature of karma. Everyone have to bear the burden of their karma and so on. So we fare according to our karma. Right, so, but all these are based on metta, loving kindness. There are variations, deeper aspects of loving kindness. Okay, so these are the four immeasurables. Then we come to four other high and advanced meditation. The four formless meditation, 37 to 40. Perception of boundless space. This is where the person goes to deep meditation, into jhana. He must have mastered all the four jhanas. Then he let go of all idea of form, and the object is boundless space. Right? Then this meditator even lets go of that object of boundless space. Then it becomes the perception of boundless consciousness. There is this consciousness left. So it goes on watching this. This got to be done for a long time, maybe months and years. Then later on, when he has mastered this formless meditation, he even lets go of that boundless consciousness as object. Okay, now there's nothing left, so it's called nothingness, perception of nothingness. But here, the nothingness also is an object of the meditation, this very high level of meditation, the second highest, in fact. Then you have the last one, 40. Okay, neither perception nor non-perception. This is a very long name. Okay, this is where the meditator even lets go of this object of nothingness. Right? So this is where his consciousness at that level is so subtle, it cannot be said there is consciousness or no consciousness. That's why the name is so long there. Neither perception nor non-perception. The word here is sanya, translated as perception, but it actually means consciousness here. So you can well translate as neither consciousness nor non-consciousness, but it's sort of odd if we do that. So usually it's translated as perception. So that's a quick run through of the all these 40 kinds of meditation. All right. So now what do we do for ourselves? We can't be doing all the 40. Well, the most common meditation we do, the over-counter meditation, so to speak, will be breath and loving kindness. These are the two you must know, right? In fact, most Western Buddhists would know this. This is the really wonderful thing. You find they know breath and loving kindness. So we will talk a bit more about this later on, even during question time. Now, why do we choose these two? they are helpful in building up our calmness. In other words, the first purpose of meditation, if you like, the first step in meditation is to learn to be calm. Right? What is it that is preventing us from becoming calm? What is it that is distracting us? Our five senses. Our five senses. What we see, hear, smell, taste, touch, the five senses distract us in five directions. That is why when we meditate, we sit. Now when you sit down, the body does not move, so the body will not distract you. Then we don't talk, of course, like speech doesn't disturb us. And we close our eyes, sights won't disturb us. Sounds you can't help. Okay, I wouldn't recommend you to plug your ears, it's not helpful. We learn to let go of sound by simply acknowledging sound without following them. Smell also, we just acknowledge the smell and then we let it go. Touch is feeling, okay, we just regard it as feeling, let it go, and so on, right? So we sit very, very still, we learn to let go of the five senses by focusing on the breath. Now the breath is a very helpful object because it is versatile. The breath can be, the breath starts off as body, as a physical phenomenon, as a physical object. Then slowly it becomes mental, right? So as you sit and watch your breath, which I have not yet taught you in this series, I will be doing that soon. As you watch your breath, in and out, you may count your breath, and there's so many ways of watching the breath. What's happening is you're calming yourself. The breathing also slows down as you meditate. You don't control your breath, normal breathing. Then there comes a point where the breathing is subtle, relaxed, very peaceful. You might not even notice it. So that's when the breathing becomes mental. Now, meditation teachers will tell you when the breath becomes mental, it becomes bright. So this is our natural mind, if you like, that the mind becomes bright. So it is reflected in the breath. Okay? So the breath becomes, from a physical object, becomes a mental object. So that's why we like the breath meditation. When you get this mental object, then you feel very joyful, very peaceful. Okay? And another interesting thing is, we're still talking about calmness meditation, is that once you're able to let go of the five senses, the eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, and mind, in other words, you don't feel your body anymore. All you feel is wonderful peace and joy, right? If all these senses are kind of pushed away in that way, then you have overcome what I call the five hindrances, five mental hindrances, which are sensual desire, meaning desire for the seeing, sight, smell, taste, touch, and so on. And then the opposite of it is ill will. Okay, then there is sloth and torpor, restlessness and worry, doubt. Okay, so all these are gone. Okay, so then you attain jhana. Jhana is a very profound state of mind where your mind is pure mind. I like to use the example of when the mind is very pure, it's like two mirrors facing itself. Right? So you see eternity, if you like. Okay? So this is a profoundly joyful state. Now this jhana state is so peaceful, no thinking occurs there. Right? No mental speech occurs there. It's just joy. All right. So you have to get out of this state, of this really wonderful state. But before that, some people may not understand this. Now, imagine you've gone to a competition, and you really want to win this competition. You work so hard to win this competition, and then finally you won it, and the joy is so great. If someone were to ask you, how do you feel? You have seen people interviewed this way, right? The usual answer would be, I don't know how I feel. I just feel joyful. They have no words for it. They're lost for words. That's real joy. You get lost for words. You can't really describe it. Okay. So anyone who says that thinking occurs during jhana, they don't. They're not meditators. They're not doing jhana anyway. So you have to get out of this jhana first. Okay. And the mind is still very clear when you get out of jhana. That's where you direct this clear mind to impermanence. You begin to see impermanence more clearly. You see a flower, you see a corpse of a rat or whatever. It becomes very clear to you, right? So that's how we use this very profound meditation. We come out of it and we reflect. Then it becomes insight. Previously, the great calmness is called samatha. Then we use the samatha to cultivate insight. Okay, so this is one of the common ways that we combine the two practices. Now, in the last part, there is mindfulness, sati. Okay, now as you know, sati is the samma sati, right? Is satipatthana. Okay, there are the four satipatthanas. We're aware of our body, aware of feelings, aware of thoughts, and aware of dharmas or realities. Right? That's the technical complete definition. But here we will settle for the meaning of mindfulness. Okay. Nowadays, in modern psychology, they like to use the word mindfulness. Okay, but in Buddhism, mindfulness refers to the specific field of meditation. This is a fashionable thing in the modern world. They think meditation is too religious, so they use mindfulness. But it suits us anyway as Buddhists. But for us Buddhists, technically, mindfulness would be when we do this perception of impermanence. So if you find that you have difficulty sitting, doing long meditation, that's fine. A lot of people are like that, busy people, But you can practice mindfulness, especially the perception of impermanence. Perception of impermanence can be done anytime, even right now. We can reflect, very soon this talk's going to finish, a few more minutes, then after that we have a short break, and then you'll be having a chance to ask questions and so on. So this reflection of impermanence is a very important meditation. This is what I discovered in the last 20 years when I came to Singapore in chapter 25 of the Samyutta. The 10 suttas there, all the 10 suttas of S25 teach the same thing. The Buddha says if you reflect on impermanence of your body, of the five aggregates, and so on, you do this regularly, whether with faith or with wisdom, you will surely reach the path as a stream winner in this life, if not definitely at the moment of passing away. So this is a very good practice we all should do as a lay person. If you really call yourself a Buddhist, you keep your precepts, your 5 precepts. You don't have to renounce the world, you don't have to be a monk or a nun. Or if you're a monk or a nun, you can still do this practice if you find becoming arahat so difficult. So you keep your basic precepts, then you do your practice of impermanence. Whatever happens, look around, reflect on it as being impermanent. Yourself, your body, other people that you see, the events around you, the things around you, everything is impermanent. This is one thing we cannot deny. As they say, you can deny God, but you cannot deny impermanence. Okay, on that note, I think we will take a early break, short break, and then we'll come back for the second part of our Dhamma discussion.